And now you have to entertain the audience because I have to go to the basement.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to everybody joining us for another episode of FlutterFlow Live. While Dimitar goes down to the basement to collect his clean FlutterFlow shirt that the children down there are keeping clean for him, we will today talk about periodic. Oh, those children did a nice job cleaning that shirt. We will never be able to monetize this channel.
If you're keeping like that, yeah, you're right.
So today we are going to talk. Yeah, this is Joss. That's Dimitar. We're going to talk to you about the latest in FlutterFlow news, which mostly today is about periodic actions, which I have not tried, but Dimitar has. So if you have any questions about what we're talking about, please do drop them in the comments. We will try our best to take your questions as we go. And otherwise, I will share Dimitar's screen and we'll get cracking.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Let's go. So, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do the reading part. So can you zoom in?
So yeah, zoom in.
Zoom?
Sorry.
Can you zoom so
Sorry.
I can read?
Sorry.
So the big update today is periodic actions, which are pretty much, from what I understand, what they say on the tin. They allow you to run an action not based on a click. It's slightly different than a cloud function. So it's not an action that's being triggered by something happening in the background, such as a document being updated, but it's, yeah, exactly like it says, refreshing an API call every 10 seconds to show the latest stock price. This is pretty ducking cool.
Yeah. And I can try to show you a demo because you haven't tried that, as always.
Yeah, I have not used these. I'm a bad little FlutterFlow boy.
I used that today, as I said to you before the call. But it's periodic. So let's create a new page. Probably I didn't spell it right, but who cares? But now this is working actually. My project, the one that I'm always using,
Thank you,
as I said last time. Thank you, Anton. It should work. So I hope that we can see this in action. But yeah, the whole idea for there are a lot of things that you use periodic action, with. But I can show you one of it, like the one that I'm using it. For example, and if I create a new, if I text over here, and if I have, let's imagine that I have some names that I want to shuffle because I did so
shuffle.
Okay, and try that, and then we have shuffled name, for example.
Okay.
Because here we will have the name that will be shuffled. So this
So this
name
is like if we want to show like a random name,
exactly, right? like a random name. So we have here, we will take this from the local state. The random name goes over here, and then we want to have two buttons. Basically, ideally we will put them in a stack widget because we want them to be stacked. So if one is pressed, the other one should not be visible. But I don't have time for this. I hope that people can actually do this.
Imagine the glory of this thing.
But in theory, we should have two buttons. The one is the start button, and if I click the start button, it start to shuffle things. So how do you do this? How do I do it? I don't know if this is the right to do it, but I do it like
let's see. If it works, it works. If it works, it's the right way.
Start periodic action, and this is the millisecond. This 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So this is math. And then go over here. And the interesting part over here is that I will update the local storage.
Mm-hmm.
And I will update the local storage, the local state, sorry. And I'll update the local state with itself.
Okay.
And I know this, you're using this, and this is a little bit hacky.
Yeah, I
but I
use this
want
for
them.
like, I use this when I'm updating state for like inside of a component and stuff like that.
Yeah, because the idea here is that when I'm updating this, this is supposed to actually update the local state with some
Okay.
random text,
Okay.
or in my case, names.
Okay.
But what we can do here is that we have to take some random names, right? Those random names have to come from somewhere, and
Are we going to use Firestore?
I can query them,
Oh,
but there is yeah, I can query them and this will work, of course. But I wanted to actually get those names from the sample data, but
mhm.
that I cannot get them from the sample data from over here, right? So what I can actually do is I can actually the first thing actually I have to do after that is go to action and create a custom action,
Okay.
because creating a custom action, in this custom action I'll actually take a random name.
Okay.
So
Like from a
I
list.
will have yeah, I will have a list of names. We can or list of names, or list of documents. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. At the end of the day, both will work. Which one? I think I I'm not sure if I can test it with list of documents, but if you want, we can try this.
We can do it with a list of names, just
Which
make it easier.
yeah. So okay, so let's imagine that this
And
one
then we'll just map
shuffled
in, we'll
names,
map in the names basically.
and this is the shuffled
Right.
names, and this is the user record. So I actually created this using user record. So I created it like that:
Okay.
document list, and then I don't have users here for whatever reason. Uh, Probably have created, but I think if I create users, the whole I didn't create it because the whole yeah, because of that, right? Where
Okay.
to be populated with default user
Yeah,
fields.
sure.
Okay. And then if I go here and then I will go over here, I should have users. I do. And then it's complaining about my local state, because my local state right now, I should have two things. Because I already did that, let me just quickly explain you how you can do
Yeah.
it
Can you
with
zoom in like
documents.
one little bit?
Yeah,
Is it
sure.
possible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's better.
that's better.
Yeah. So with documents, we'll have two things. First is the name that will display,
Mm-hmm.
and the second is the reference. We need to store the reference. So we need actually two things. The first thing is the name, which is shuffled name,
Mm-hmm.
in my case. And the other thing will be shuffled reference, will be the reference, the doc
Okay.
reference. Very good. I'm very good with Firebase recently, right?
Really?
I know what is document
Finally. After
reference.
how many years has FlutterFlow been around now? 2 years? You're finally
I don't
finding
know,
fire.
2, 3. Yeah. So if I remember the name, what I just wrote, but I think this will this show if I write like yeah, shuffle name
Just to
will be
explain
the
to people, by the
name.
way, what we have there is a very special syntax, very special, which is FFAppState, open close brackets, dot.
Yeah,
This is a way that you can, within your custom actions and widgets, you can call and set anything in local state using this syntax.
yeah,
So I will
yeah,
write it in the chat just for anyone who wants it.
yeah. And I have to compile it, of course, before we can test it. But while we're compiling, actually, I can duplicate this one, and this is I can have two versions. The one version is with a document, and the other version will be with the simple array. And with the simple array, it's much simpler. It's not much simpler. It's actually for me it's the same thing, but okay, whatever. And then this will be a list of strings, and this will complain, of course, because here this should be, I don't have a display name here, and the reference, I don't have the reference anymore. And I'll actually need only to have, it's actually a simpler version of the document, because I have list of strings, list of strings, which will be in this case like names,
Users.
users or names of the users.
On line 4,
And
we have a null safety check.
this will be the null safety check. So if this is no, then return an empty array. The line 5 is I'm getting a random number from the
Can
list.
you explain that to me actually? Because I'm curious how that works. So
Yeah, so it's first of all we need to import the Dart mod. It's very important to know because I already tried this to do it with a custom
without
function, and with custom function it's not working. Even
no,
even in the new IDE,
information,
which I briefly introduced in
which
the
we're not
last
allowed to talk about.
yesterday, we're not allowed to talk about, but this is not coming yet in the new ID. Probably if when it's available, it will come, but still. So yeah, you can do this. You can use a random number in custom widgets and custom actions, but not in custom functions.
So essentially,
And
this is a function that specifically just generates a random number, and the syntax for that is int random index, which can be anything you want, equals random, then open close. That's the function, right? Dot.
Yeah.
Next.
And this would be the next int, and the next int is actually the length of the array. So if array have 50, for example, names, this would be next int 50. So it will choose a random number from
between 0 and 50.
No, 0 and 49, right?
49.
Because
Okay.
yeah, because the indexes are always with 0.
Oh yeah, of course.
And,
Of course they
and
started
the
0.
last number, yeah, that's how a programmer thinks.
So that's cool.
So yeah, so this will return a random number from 0, should run a random from 0 to 49. And then here it's actually saying users, and this would be like 0, for example, or 55, or sorry, in this case 44 or 32, and so on and so forth. And when you return this, I will store this in FFAppState. So I basically store this in the local state, and I will just here I'm printing it, but yeah, this line is redundant. You don't need this line to print it.
Get rid of it.
And
Worthless.
yeah, get rid of this line as well. And that's all of it. Now you need only to go over to the start, and just when you actually start the periodic action, you need to update the local state. But before you actually update the local state, you need to actually get your shuffled names copy. I mean, this shuffled names, the copy is actually the one that is using a simple, you can see here, type list string.
So basically, we're starting the periodic action, we're getting the first value, and then that periodic action is going to keep running. This whole thing is going to run in a cycle, or how is this working?
Yes, the idea is the idea is it will change the local state, and changing the local state will actually show in the page the random strings. This is what it's supposed to be. So if I click over here, I'm sampling data, and this would be names, and this would be from, for example, 50, minimum 50 and maximum 100, and I only need the first. I think I only need. I choose the first name and the last name, or maybe the first name. It doesn't really matter, and then confirm. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if I need the local state like this, or it will be updated. It will work with or without that. I'm not really sure, but I think I need to update it, to be honest.
So what is the periodic? Is the periodic action then running the entire workflow every 1 second?
It's actually no. I think the whole idea of that is to only run the actions that are below this action. Do you get what I mean?
The periodic. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So once you start it, you set, when you do the start, you set the period that you want it to rerun everything, right?
Yeah.
And then it will rerun every action that comes after it until the user leaves the page, basically.
Yeah, you're right. I'm saying yeah because I'm not sure if it will actually leave a page.
I assume it must, right?
But in order to stop it, that's why we have this button.
We have a stop button, a big red stop button.
and then here we can say stop periodic action, and then this is the name of the action. It's auto-generated this name.
And can you
And it's the
check
only
to
one.
see? Can you check to see whether a periodic action is running or not?
Let me see. I don't think so, but let me see. So in theory, if you go over here and add a condition, and then here, you should able to see if there is a periodic action that is running or not. But I don't think so.
I mean,
because
but you
there is
could,
no,
right? Because all you would have, well, I was thinking you could
I
set
don't.
like before, if the periodic action only runs from after the periodic action, right? Then
Yeah.
when the user presses the button, you can have a toggle, right? So you could actually have one button do both functions. So what I'm saying is, we're going to make this more complicated unnecessarily. So on your action for your start button, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's make this crazy complicated.
Let me just check the errors. Okay, so you're talking about here, right?
Yeah. So on the start button, now let's make a conditional action and move it above the start periodic action.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that, exactly. So move this to the top. And what we're going to check is we're going to check a local state, which is running. So we need to create a new local state.
Yeah, but how do you? Yeah, you mean? Yeah, I got it.
You got me. You got me.
You're this, right? You're talking about.
Yeah. So we'll make a
is
custom local
running.
state. We'll call it is running as a Boolean, because this would then be like a play pause button or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we can do is we can, obviously the default value for this will be false, meaning the periodic is not running. And then what we'll do
I forgot about that. Yeah, but it's false. By default, it's false.
Yeah, by default, it's false. Exactly. So when you first click the start button, what we're going to do is we're going to check that local state, and we'll find out is it running or not.
Okay. I was thinking that if we click this, we can actually do it simpler than that, isn't it? Because if we click this button, the action will run. The action will always run. So in theory,
no, because I'm going to move everything to one side or the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check first, is it true or false, right?
Okay.
If it's false, I'm going to start it. If it's true, I'm going to stop it.
Yeah, you get it. I guess, yeah, because you need, we want us to do this with only one button.
Yeah, exactly.
This is your idea. Yeah, you're right.
No stack.
You're right. You're right. Okay, so in your, okay, so you're right. You should
so first we check the local state
and check if this is running. You're right. So is running equals to, for example, equals to. Actually, what I saw today is that if you have a document in Firebase, and you say equals to true, like here, like this, but you don't have this is true equals to true, it will return a no, and this will not work. Right?
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Sort of.
Or not really?
Not really.
I will show you.
Okay.
If we have in a Firestore, if we are in a Firestore, let's imagine that we have a new collection which will be periodic or something like that, periodics or whatever. Then here we have it's running, and this will be Boolean, and this will be equals to true. So where is it? I don't know. I don't see it. Oh, probably it's something going on with my Firebase, isn't it?
I don't know.
Okay, now it's showing. It's a little bit slower, but yeah, you can see it over here. It's running. So if I do this over here, over here, it's running. But actually, if I don't have this in
your document,
Firebase, delete this, and I don't have it here,
it will return no.
This will return no, and this will not work. If I say equals to true, it will work. If I say equals to false, it will not true. It will not work.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking if it's there, it should return false, right?
You have to do you have to check for two things. You have to check is set.
Yeah, but you cannot check is set for Boolean.
Yeah,
you cannot do this.
Yes,
okay,
you can.
Let me try that. So if you go over here,
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
should check both of them.
Yeah.
So if you're using Firebase, you should do it. The correct way of doing it is like this, and then combine, right?
Yeah.
We're combining them. We combine this one. So this one should be equals to true. And then also we should say, and it's set, right?
Yep.
And you should say local state.
Or not local. Yeah.
Local state. In our case, it's local state.
Yeah, in our case,
theory, it will be,
we're pretending
something else. Yeah. So this one will be is set.
Exactly.
So it should be equals to true and is set.
Yep.
Both of them should be set.
And in that case, we would actually want to stop it. So we need to remove those periodic actions. We need to move those to the other side, right?
Yeah, you're right. So let me copy that and paste it over here.
Exactly.
And here we'll just stop it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll stop it.
And but we can just say, it's running equals to
state before we stop it.
Exactly. So we can just say
set value
is running
to false.
Equals to false.
Boom.
Then I'll move this over. I'll move this above. It's very it's good practice to be above the or stop. And this one should be stop, right?
Yeah. So that one's should be stop.
This one should be stop. And this one should be start.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we also need to update local state to set this one to true.
When we click it, you mean?
Yeah, right? Exactly. So the same way we have on the left side.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's basically switching the value.
Yeah. So if I say local state, and then is running will be equals to true, right?
Yeah.
Because it's running.
Exactly. So it's the opposite of whatever it is right now, basically.
Yeah. And we're done with that.
Now let's make the button change color.
Yeah. And now I don't anymore, right?
No, you don't
need
this
one. Yeah. The problem here is that I should change the text.
We'll do it. We'll change the color. We'll change the text. We'll do a conditional value. Just make it insanely overly complicated. But no, this is. I don't
think we have time for everything.
Yeah, we do. Don't worry, it's fine.
Okay. So
this is like the only news item today is periodic actions.
I can do this, right? I can say like copy this, and then I can say here, and I can just say paste.
Yep.
Yeah. But what I'm doing, what is going on if I paste this over here?
Well, we want to do a conditional value, not just the conditions.
Yeah, you're right. So this will not work.
Well, you can still paste it when you do your conditional value. Exactly, you can paste it right there.
If it's running, this is running, right?
Yeah, if it's running, then the button should say stop.
Stop. Oops. Stop. L start.
Right? Exactly.
Okay.
Boom. See, that didn't take very long.
And then color.
Color, we do the same thing.
Color. It's conditional value here. Paste. No, I should paste it over here.
Yeah, here, exactly.
Paste.
So if it's running, it should be red, your favorite red.
Okay. And if it's not running, what?
It should be
blue
green.
Or green?
Green.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, green. Your favorite green. Okay.
Perfect. So now we have a button.
So
it really still looks blue, but that's okay.
That's
so this is how you could make a play and pause button. I think that was very useful, if I do say so myself.
But we can test it somehow. I think.
Test it?
Yeah.
No.
That's something new, right?
Just need an actual navigate to get to this page, right?
Yeah, it's periodic. And I think it should load by now because I clicked this. Oh, okay.
Failed.
This was working actually.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
No, it's me. Oh, no, it's the same error. List view event error cover. So this was working. But
Okay.
yeah, it seems it's not anymore again. It's
What is
it's
the video?
it's a cover thing
Oh, okay.
like 5 or 6 weeks ago. It's still
Okay, so how do we fix it?
hunting me. I can delete the page. This is
Okay,
how we
delete
can
the
fix it.
page.
But
So
I
Anton
don't
did
know
not
which
fix it.
I don't know which page is this.
Oh,
So
just delete them at random.
there is no there's no search for that, right?
No,
Covers. Maybe it's covers. What do you
probably.
think? Yeah, let's try with that. If it's not that, no, but I cannot run it. Oh no, I'm getting errors right now, like a bunch of errors for the navigation because I'm navigating to this page. Okay, I should delete this navigation and delete this one as well. It's the second page. I'm not sure if this is the second page that is causing the problem. The problem it's coming from list view events record. Okay, it's probably the event one.
Probably.
Events. Which was the event? Events. I'm not
Okay.
sure. Events.
Even.
Okay, we can try. We can try with running. I don't think so. It will run, but let's
Well,
try.
we'll see.
And then
In the
in the
meantime,
meantime,
we can go on to the
we
next
can
news
try.
item.
Yeah.
The next news item is exciting. Well, the next new one is Figma, which I feel like we already talked about.
We talked about a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's Figma.
Uh,
If you use Figma, you can import. That's cool.
yeah.
The next
Do
one I
you
think
use
is
Figma? I don't have any
well,
Figma files to
yeah, I
try to
do.
import
I
it.
tried it. It kind of worked.
It's kind of.
My,
But let us at least show where people can actually do this.
yeah,
So
sure.
they should go to the
It's in your
settings,
theme.
team, and then here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Import from Figma. I can give you a
Yes.
Figma file if you want.
Yeah, if you want to, you can try that. And do you know what is this personal access token?
Oh, that's like my API key, no?
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe I don't want to share my
Probably.
API key.
Okay, but this is how you import it, right?
That's how you import it. It allows you to import your colors if your project is nicely enabled. I wanted to more talk about the drop-down options labels
Sure, let's do it.
because this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So previously, just
It
to
is.
recap, when you had a drop-down, you would be able to map things to a drop-down and then select, for instance, say you wanted to map a bunch of Firestore documents, you could then map the name of the Firestore document to an option in the list. The problem was when you chose it, how do you actually select that document? You were just selecting a name. Now, though, it appears we can have labels. I show that to your users, but the backend will record US or in. Okay, so let's just try it. Let's set up one and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm setting up
Okay.
like 1, 2, 3 options.
You want to try and do
say
it from a query, like a Firestore query?
Firestore storage.
I was going to say Firestore. That's the one I'm most interested in.
Okay, let's do it from Firestore then.
So, like, let's say you map like the list of users or something.
Sure. So we have the losers.
The losers.
The users. Yeah, just.
Yeah, so we're picking a user, like which user do you want to add to your group or something? Something like that. Yeah. Now, we would normally map the options here from our user documents. And then how to do a hamburger button in FlutterFlow. We have a question.
Yeah. Let's finish with that one and then we can.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Good question. Gautam. Apologies for mispronouncing your name, but we'll get to that in just 1 second. Yeah. So if we're going to map here, display names.
So mapping basically means that I want to display the name of this list,
Yeah.
right?
So you're taking one thing
This
from
is
everything
perfect.
in your list, basically.
Because this threw me off a little bit the time I
Okay.
used Fire.
So now where is the
Space.
new? So where now is the new options? Is it the hint
This
text? No, that's not the
I
new.
think it's the initial
No,
option value.
that's always been there.
So this one defines the options that will appear for a selection. So the name, the actual will appear, but this one over here is
It's
actually
down. If you go down,
it's actually the value that you will
yeah, but
send
that's
through
just
the
the one
backend.
that's first selected. There should be two sections essentially. There should be add option labels and add options. If you scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, let's see that.
Drop down. Okay, no, it's not there. And maybe when you go to define the options.
Where is that?
Uh,
Define options here.
disable drop down. What does that do? Yeah, so define options.
No, it's define options. It's define. Yeah, you're right. Define options labels and define options values, right? We are.
No,
I think
so
they changed something, right?
so the way if I look at their screenshot, right? I see
Yeah,
define
this is
option
the
values
screenshot.
and define option labels, but I see neither of those in my
Yeah,
what we're doing right now.
you're right. Define options values,
Yeah, but that's not
and
what
then
we
define
see.
options values is define options only. I guess from the options, and initial option value. It's probably the first. I think this is the drop down that it's
But this has always been there.
the drop down.
This has just been the
Yeah,
first
exactly.
selection.
Yeah,
That's
probably
just the
they
first. Which
changed
one is
something.
selected by? Yeah.
They changed something, or did they deploy the update? What is going on?
Yeah, I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
Maybe if we try to, can we take it away from the Firestore thing and see if that helps?
Okay. Sure.
Maybe.
We can try with a simple data.
Yeah.
Simple data, list of names, my favorite.
Or just even doing it manually, no?
Yeah, we can do it manually as well first. But let's try with the simple data. But nothing's changing here for whatever
No.
reason. I think
This is weird. Are you in beta?
maybe we're missing something. I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I'm not in the bed. I'm the normal.
This is very strange.
Normal human being.
You're in the normal.
Yeah, this okay. Add options labels.
Where did you see
It's
that?
this option. It's this option over here. I didn't saw this option before because if I click over here and add the document, this option is gone. So this is strange because it should not be gone if I click over here. So if I add this first, like I did, and click over here, the labels are gone. You can see over here, right? So I don't think this is, I think this is a bug, to be honest, because you always need a label, right? I mean, you always need to have the option to actually enable or disable the labels.
And when you do the options, so maybe you just
okay, so the values, the values will be, in our case, the values will be the document.
You just have to enable that option first, I guess. Then, so the values would be the
which option?
So the values.
Oh, yeah.
So the values we could do like the UIDs or something.
Yeah, but I don't have the UID here, right?
Yeah, you do. User ID.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's map.
Item. Yeah, UID.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we could map the UIDs, which are then the values, and then the labels. Or does that option now disappear? No.
Oh, no, it's here.
Here it is.
It's here.
So we can now map the. Okay, so that works nicely then.
Yeah, it works.
It'd be even nicer if you could map the document references.
Yeah, I was thinking that you can, but it's apparently you cannot because there is no reference over here.
Well, you can probably from just, Okay. Oh, you have to choose the value type. Okay. Well, that's another reason.
It's not working. I'm still getting an error. But it's another error, but I'm still getting an error.
Well, then
so this project is doomed.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So that's how you do the drop down. That's pretty cool. I mean, the use case there is really I mean, even if you can get the UID, that's huge, right? Because then
Yeah.
you can from the UID you can get everything. Should we ask
Can
this
you
question?
enable my screen?
I
Sorry.
suppose if you're nice.
Thanks.
So the question we got is, how do you do a hamburger button in FlutterFlow? I'm guessing that just means, how do you do a menu button? Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. In which case, yeah, let's show how we do that.
Hamburger,
Hamburguesa.
for example. Okay, and then we have this over here, and we have the up bar.
Yeah.
And I think the best way is the Josh way.
No, you don't even need
Which
to do the
is
Joss way. You can just add an
really?
icon button. Yeah. If you just add an icon
Okay.
button.
Yeah, but I mean, if we want to have the hamburger and the title,
Yeah, but you can do that
right?
without doing it the Joss way even. Like if you do
Yeah, but
app bar, and then just I'll show you another Joss way. So
okay.
if you do add widget,
Add widget, yeah.
there, and grab like an icon button. Yep, and then just drag. Yeah, that works.
Must drop into leading title. Okay.
Okay, so drop it where it tells you to.
Row, right?
I mean, I would have just dropped it to the right hand side, no?
Oh, okay. Right hand side, sure. Oh, okay.
There you go.
I didn't look.
And so from there, you can then select an action on that.
Yeah. And we can change the icon, right?
Yep, we can have.
I don't know what is the name of the icon.
This
one, right?
dot, yeah, something like that.
And then the color.
And then the other thing we need to do is, oh yeah, color. The other thing we need to do is to add a drawer. So before we do our menu, so we need to actually go to the widget menu for the page.
Do we add I never added drawers.
Or if you just select the scaffold
from here.
Select the scaffold
from here.
Like the top. There you go. And then
drawer from here.
Yeah, I think you should be able to. If you can't find it there you go.
It's here.
Yeah.
So I need to put an action to open the drawer, right?
Exactly. So you just put an action on that menu to open drawer.
Drawer open. Okay.
Then
and how do I close it?
You can close it by just clicking anywhere outside of it, or you could put a button.
Close your eyes.
Yeah. Or you can actually put a button inside of the drawer, exactly like that, the one giant button, which you can use to close it. So yeah, that's how you make a pop-up menu. Hope that answers that.
Let's put a button. Close, close, close. Let me just finish that. Close drawer. Close drawer. Close. What is that? Open end drawer, do you know?
Yeah, so the end drawer that's what you added. You added an end drawer.
Okay. Are any other drawers than end drawer?
Yeah, so it's basically determining whether it comes from the left side or the right side. So a standard drawer comes from the left side, whereas a end drawer comes from the right side.
Okay. But you cannot change the properties from. I mean, if I add the drawer,
you can change the width here.
Yeah, you can change the width, but you can. If I want to appear from the right side, how do
you have to add it to a different type of widget. It's called an end drawer.
Ah, okay.
So you can technically actually have both. You can have a menu that comes from the left and a menu that comes from the right. Exactly.
Ah, okay. I got it. Okay.
So you can have both. I'm just gonna go turn on my light real quick. Oh my back.
Yeah. So the next one is the coworker. I never picker. And how we can actually use it. This option is available as an action. Okay.
Sorry, we have a follow-up question. You can use that exact same thing. It doesn't have to be in the app bar. You can use that same. You can do the same exact menu like that.
Yeah.
With the you can use that same action to open the drawer from anywhere.
How do I close it right now? I mean.
Oh, you have to do, if you go click on the scaffold. I mean, I can't see what you're looking at, but.
Hide drawer. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, like this. And then you're saying that they cannot just simply a button over here.
Yeah, exactly. You can have any
And with
button.
this button, we
You can
can
add
just
an
say
action.
open
You can say
drawer,
open drawer. It doesn't have to be in the app bar.
open. Yeah.
Cool.
And we have our picker.
Which is, I don't quite understand the
I have
difference
no
of this and
idea.
the other color picker, but
I have no idea. Our new cover picker action. So this is an action. I just use to select the
okay.
cover from the late. So
To allow
what is the idea?
users
That
to select the
probably,
color. That's cool.
yeah. So this would be cover picker. And then they say that we can have a button right now. And if I click pick cover, and there should be a new action that says cover picker, right?
Let's see.
Cover picker. Okay, nice. And the value, we can choose the value from variable, which is great.
Oh, initially selected, I guess.
The initial value, text cover, secondary cover, background cover. Okay, so apparently you can choose more than one
customize
cover.
how the color picker looks. So if you go into preview, we should be able to see this, no? If you just do a
I
preview,
don't think. Let me see.
since your run mode doesn't work.
But we need a way to actually. Okay. So click. Yeah, you're right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So you could let.
And what if I change? What if I change the background? Now it's white. If I leave it green, should I press?
You just have to do refresh. You just do refresh.
Okay.
So this means you can now let users choose their own color for their own like profile icon or something, and then store that in a Firestore document.
Wow.
Ooh, that's bright.
Amazing green. Yeah, that's great actually.
But you could actually let a user choose their own profile icon color, store it to their user document, and then display that back to them next time they come.
Yeah.
Which, if we run out of things on this news, we might build, because there's really not so much on this news one. I mean, don't get me wrong; there's some big stuff here, but
I still have a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, what's your question?
Okay. No, it's not. Let's finish with the updates, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay, I got to drag this out now. Okay, API library for Teams. Oh no, translation for.
No, this
string values can be translated using our instant translation. Okay, I didn't know that didn't work before, but apparently it didn't.
So let's try that. Let's try that.
Can now be translated. Okay.
So if I create a component from this one, so if I say convert to component, and this will be a cover picker component. What? Name already used? Really?
Well, I guess
that's strange. Cover picker. Cover picker. Okay. So where do I go? Do I need to enable first the languages? Do you know that?
Potentially, yeah.
So primary app language. What? Oh, I didn't add languages, right? I should first add languages. English. No. No. English. And my favorite language after Bulgarian. Let's say English. Display name English. I don't see the icons here. I should see the flags over here, but I don't see them. But yeah, so if I go over here, how do I translate? I never translate. I never have my app. It's one language only. So if you have done this before, you can lead me how I can do it.
Oh, you can't hear me. I was saying, sorry, I thought I was talking to you the whole time. I was saying you need to pass through a parameter that we can translate.
Isn't it from over here?
The new feature is about passing through values. That's what can now be translated.
Parameter. Okay, I get it.
So we
Okay.
need to have a string parameter.
Okay. So
Sorry, I didn't realize when I turned off my camera that it also turned off my sound.
okay, so you're saying that we need a parameter for the component, right?
Exactly. So like something for the button text or something.
Coworker text button. Example, this one will be a string.
Yeah, exactly. And then we set the value of that button to that text.
And then here. So which text should I use?
Wait. So inside the component.
Inside the component, okay.
Inside the component, link the button to the parameter.
Okay, I did that. Okay.
Okay,
Done.
perfect. Now outside, we're going to just pass through a specific value, let's say.
Okay, so which one? The English value or?
Yeah, I guess the English one, and then we'll try
Or
to.
like a key for a key, and this key will be translated to any language. I don't know.
I
So
think we
like
just pass.
key. What do you
Yes,
suggest?
yeah, allow translation. So if you just pass through like press button or something, or choose color.
Pick color.
Yeah, and then
Key.
allow translations.
Yeah, I already clicked allow translations. Okay, and this is the English name. Okay, so
Yeah.
pick color.
And then.
And the Swedish one will be.
Swedish. Is that what you did? Okay.
I don't have the Swedish keyboard.
Try the
here.
Google Translate.
I know how is it, but no, this is not right because I don't have the Swedish keyboard. But okay, let's imagine that this is the Swedish one. It's Välja Fairy in Swedish.
Perfect.
And then okay, I already translate them. Why do I need to
do it manually?
Translate
you don't need to do Google Translate.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there you go.
If I click over here, I should see my. Okay, I should see my button.
Well, that's how you
because there is no save button, and that's why I was thinking if it's safe or not.
Cool. So that's translations. Next, API library for Teams. This means you can save API. If you have a team account, you can now have API library. And then other improvements, user language sessions. Well, now I didn't know they didn't. You can now apply your theme. Oh yeah, this is the API library. Fancy.
Yeah. Fancy.
You can now apply your theme to FlutterFlow's UI components. I thought you already could do that, but okay.
Should we show that?
Sure.
Real quickly? Okay, let me show that. So if I, is that when you're actually creating a new component,
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So if I click components, then new component, and then this would be my theme. Oh no, I had to choose.
You had to choose one of them.
From already. Exactly. I had to choose one. Yeah. I made it. Yeah. So my theme. And let's choose. Okay, so use my theme or use template.
Use my theme. Okay. Your theme, I think, is exactly the same as their theme, so we're not going to see a difference. But if your theme was different,
that's true.
It would.
Yeah, it's that the same thing like when you're creating a page, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have this option as well.
I didn't realize they didn't have that, but that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
Other options: added a button to access Chrome console logs. Ooh, I didn't know.
I don't know where is that.
Added a button to access the Chrome console logs in test run. Well, we don't know because we can't do a test run mode.
That's right.
But apparently.
But I can run another if you want to.
Yeah, if you want to. I'm curious to see where that button is.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Let's try with this project over here. But still, we have like 2 minutes to load. So in the meantime,
what's your question?
Probably I can ask my question, or if we don't have any other news. Yeah. So my question was because today I was okay. Let me just wait, real quickly load the project and then show you what I mean.
Today you were torturing kids in your basement. We know.
Yeah. So 2 queries. And then my question is, you're always saying that your best practice
Yeah.
is to actually query once.
Yeah.
Like for example, if we need the users,
Yeah.
query them once over here,
Yep.
and then you can use them over here.
Yep.
So for example, if we have like, you can imagine that I have 2. Sorry, I didn't mean it. I should have a colon, and inside this colon, I should have another colon and another colon over here. Because if you can imagine that we have 2 lists over here,
Mm-hmm.
and the one list. So let's imagine that we have 2 lists from 2 lists of users, for
Okay.
example. And one list is, let's imagine that this list is actually coming from users,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to map it. No, I want to actually filter it, right? I want to
Filter it by
filter
like
it.
every user that's active or something.
Yeah, exactly. So let's filter it by single condition, probably. Let's not complicate things. Item of list, get property. And then let's say, I don't know, created time.
Yeah, is greater
Can we
than or
say,
whatever.
yeah, is greater than or less than,
Yeah.
or equal
Past.
to the current time,
Yeah.
or something like that. So let's do it. Global properties,
Yep.
current time. So this would be the one list.
Yep.
And yeah, so this would be past users, past users,
Mm-hmm.
because it's only one. And the other list will be something else,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, let's say user items, filter items. I want to filter them by item list. What? Why cannot I filter them?
I don't know.
Maybe I click something wrong. So user documents, filter, condition. This will be item list, get properties. Okay. Maybe I click something else.
Okay.
And for example, the other will be phone number, and the
Yep.
phone number
Is set.
is equal to this set, for example. Yes,
Yep.
you're right. It's set and not empty.
Yep.
Confirm, and this will be
Okay.
has phone user. And then okay. This, of course, if I want to display the names, this is super easy, super
Yep.
simple. Just click over here, display name,
Yep.
and here, click over here, and then I can display name of each of the groups that I just filter because of the query over here. But my question is, what if I have like queries? What if I have 3 queries? So here I'm querying the users, but what
Yep.
if I want to query also in this page, I want to query the events, for example.
Yep.
How do I do that?
I mean, what I would do is I would wrap your entire column in like a container. If you need it to be at the same kind of level,
I want it to be at the same level.
Yeah, so I would wrap your entire column
Okay.
in a container.
Container. Okay. And then do this container.
Exactly. Do it in the container.
So I will have, for example, the events. I have a single events, for example, and I can do it in the container, right?
Well, no, you can do a list as well in the container. You can get a
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do a list, but let's do a list.
And so then you can actually like cross filter them as well.
Can you show me how you do this?
Yeah, so let's say let's say you wanted to display a list of users that were subscribed to one of the events that came back in the query. I mean,
how do I do this?
You have to add a few more things in your events, Firestore properties.
Yeah, wait a second. Events, yes, it's here.
Let's add a thing called like registered or something. And that's going to be a list of user references.
Okay, so user references. How do I say this is a list? Yeah, it's
yeah,
here.
at the top, exactly. So the list, yep.
How
And so
do I
now
see
back
that
on
this is a list? I don't see. I cannot see that this is a list, right?
you should, if you did it right. I don't think you did it right.
Are you sure? Because if I click string and make it a list, and
I don't think you're doing it right.
this, oh, no, why not? If I click over
Now
here,
you have to do is list. Now click string. No, you still failed. Is list. Let's try this one more time.
okay, places, for example, is list and then string.
Yep. Boom. See?
Okay.
This is list. So your
Not
doc
very
reference
intuitive.
is not a list.
Not very UI friendly for me, like
Yeah, I know.
guys like me.
I've done that.
So
Registered.
registered. Okay, first this.
Yeah. Then
People that are watching this click this first.
we're
and
the
then click
expert.
user.
Then document
Yes.
reference. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So now in your page, cool. So now
Yeah.
what we want to do is we're going to filter out the users that we're displaying.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're going to filter them by
Single condition.
no, this one's a little bit weird.
Or
This one you have to do conditional value.
conditional value. Okay.
And then here select no, you want to select the events documents.
Okay.
And then here no. Filter.
No, because we need
Yeah.
some kind of condition, right? This should return a boolean.
Yeah, I know that. But the way you have to do it, because what we're looking for is item in list. So we want to show the events. Wait. We want to show the users that exist in this sub list. We need to basically map the list inside of the events. So each events document now has a list of users, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try it with your way then. So each events document has a list of user references that we want to check.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. So let's begin with what? With the events.
Yes.
But I think we need to.
Okay, then do it with a condition then. Do it with a condition if you prefer.
Yeah, I think the condition, single condition.
Yeah, okay. Single condition.
Let's try that.
And what we want to check is item in list. It won't work like that though, I don't think. Item in list, get document property.
Probably not, right? No.
Well, we want the reference, right? The reference.
No,
and
do
then
not work, right?
We won't be able to do because we need to do equal to, right? And that's not going to work.
Equal to it. It's just equal to.
Yeah, but what are we going to set it equal to?
Let's see. Equal to
events. We need to go for each events document. Filter list.
No, this will not work, right?
No. I think the way we do it, actually, let's just do.
Let's try your way.
So I think we just go events, documents, filter list items.
Yeah.
And then the filter is item in list. Yeah.
But what is this item in list coming from? This item in list
This should now be an events document. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're selecting the events, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing events documents, filter list, item in list, get document property.
Register.
Oh no, registered, exactly. List contains item.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then item in list from the top, right? From the very top.
From this?
Yeah, because that's now the user document. No, that's not right.
No, this is the events.
Yeah,
we need the user documents.
We need the user document. So users document, filter list item.
But we cannot select an individual.
You understand what I'm trying to do? I don't.
Yeah, I understand, but we cannot select the individual.
It's going in like circles, no?
Well, no, No, the thing is that I think we need both of them, right? We need right now we're having the items in list, which is the events one,
Yeah.
but we'll also need the items in list for the users, and we need to compare them, right?
Yeah, we
To
need to
say,
compare if the item in list exists in the item in list.
yeah, exactly. But I don't think we can do this. Have you ever done this?
Yeah, normally I just normally I'll tell you what I do normally. I cheat. So I I just map all of the lists. So where we grab the events documents,
Okay, wait a second.
I cheat.
The events, it's this one over here, right?
Yeah. So here I basically map the so
When you're saying map, you're talking about filters, right?
no, I'm not. So when I'm saying map, I'm saying get. Basically, what I want to get here is I want to get all of the lists, right? So I don't
Yeah.
want documents. I want just the properties. This is a bad question to ask 5 minutes before we end it.
Okay, but yeah, I got what you mean. I got what you mean. But it's not an easy task.
No, this is why the Flexperts will hopefully have a visual way to do this, because it still confuses me when I try to do it on the fly. It's definitely possible, but it's confusing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I think we made it to time. There is actually one thing that I wanted to talk about. I just
What's the one thing you want to talk about, Dimitar?
Yeah, exactly. I wrote it down and I almost forget about
What
it.
is it?
So I was playing with FlutterFlow today, and I saw that when you actually click on the test mode, so if I click on the test mode right now,
Yeah.
you can actually see that the test mode will load. It will not load, but it will. In this case, it will not load, but it will start loading, and eventually it will load, right? And
Yeah.
in the best scenario, it will. And when it's loaded, and you're, for example, using a custom action or a custom widget or a custom function, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if you knew that before, but for example, if we are using this custom action and you need to change something here,
Yeah.
for example, I don't know, this is not a good because I don't know what I can change over here, but okay, whatever. If you want to change something over here, like add some integer or
Mm-hmm.
random number 55, for example, or
Yeah.
whatever, and I click save over here, you can see right now that I'm getting an error and I'm saying compile code. I need to compile code in
Yeah.
order to run again. If I click run, this should not work, right?
Okay.
It says I have a session that's already existing,
Yeah.
but in theory, but what I saw today is that if the test mode actually load, because right now, as I said,
Yeah.
but the test mode actually load, you can actually click the instant reload, or
And it will
what
compile your
was the
code.
name? It will compile
That's
your
cool.
code without even it's not compiling actually, because compiling it takes like a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
It takes like 2 or 3 minutes. If you actually click this button, if you click the red button, what was the name of it? Instant reload, right?
Yeah.
So if you click instant reload, it will actually load in 10 seconds.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or yeah. So you don't
10 seconds.
so my best idea, if you are trying, I know that there are not a lot of people that are coding and writing their code over here, but the best practice for me is just start to code it, and then
Yeah.
load the test mode, and
Oh, that's cool.
code here, code here, and then instant reload it, and then you can see your
Oh,
changes
okay.
in real time.
That's cool. That's a handy tip.
Tip of the
Pro tip from Dimitar.
FFAppState.
I don't have a
Yeah.
pro tip this week. It's a failure to do list filters. But thank you to everyone who's joined us. And if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, like, subscribe, etc., try out Flexperts. We love you.
Yeah.
All.
So we see each other's in Monday, right? So keep your
Monday.
questions in Monday. We'll actually go through
Mondays
your
are
questions.
Q&As. Wednesdays are news from now
Exactly.
on. It's decided.
Exactly.
Goodbye, folks.